Atlantis Rising and Falling, How the Atlantean Archetype is Playing Out in Modern Society. Hello, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller, and this short video is about becoming aware of a path we are all walking. Throughout history, myths have echoed truths too complex for statistics, too deep for politics, and too ancient for headlines. One such myth is the story of Atlantis, a civilization of tremendous power, technological mastery, and cultural sophistication that, according to legend, fell not from weakness, but from within. The Atlantean archetype at its core is a warning, the curse of having everything and then losing everything. Today, it resonates more clearly than ever. We are living in what many consider the apex of human civilization, at least in this version of civilization. Never before has humanity enjoyed such abundance. Global communication at the speed of light, medical advances once thought miraculous, space exploration, AI, and the ability to manipulate our environments at planetary scale. For much of the developed world, disease, starvation, and illiteracy are not the daily specters they once were. In many ways, we have built our own Atlantis, gleaming, interconnected, and confident. But if we look closer, the foundations tremble. Technological arrogance. Atlantis was said to have fallen because of moral decay, spiritual disconnection, and an over-reliance on technological power. In modern society, we face a similar temptation. Technology now mediates almost every aspect of life, and with it comes a hubris eerily similar to the one Plato warned about, the belief that we can control nature, cull the population, improve society through data, or outpace consequence with innovation. We have AI that can mimic human creativity, but we still haven't mastered our own emotional intelligence. And we are blissfully unaware that if we create a vehicle for conscious thought, albeit a computer, a consciousness will integrate itself with that platform, and woe be those who think this will be a benign consciousness. Billions go hungry due to inequality, waste, and corruption. Like Atlantis, we risk using our gifts for gain without wisdom, forgetting that advancement without grounding leads not to utopia, but collapse. Change, the only universal constant. Atlantis may have been one of several advanced civilizations that did not survive the catastrophic flooding that took place 12,800 years ago, when comet fragments peppered the ice sheets of the northern hemisphere, and they quickly melted in the blink of an eye. While Atlantis seems to have exceeded our transportation technology, utilizing force field propulsion, we have surpassed what they had for communication. These little supercomputers we carry with us everywhere called our phones. Cultural saturation and spiritual starvation. Atlantis was also said to be spiritually rich, until it wasn't. In today's world, we are drowning in information, but starving for meaning. The abundance of choice, entertainment, and stimulation has not brought us closer together. If anything, it has fractured our collective identity. We encourage people to pursue external validation, ignore their moral compasses, and promulgate the idea that life is something that happens to us instead of through us. No wonder depression, anxiety, and loneliness are epidemic, especially among youth who have inherited the weight of a digital world without the rituals or grounding to make sense of it. Our spiritual traditions, once the mythic compass guiding civilizations, have become fragmented or politicized. We have temples of consumerism, but few places of true reflection. In the Atlantean sense, we have traded the sacred for the spectacular. The fall is transformation. Yet, the story of Atlantis is not merely pathos, it's transformational. In many esoteric traditions, the fall of Atlantis was necessary. Its collapse seeded the myths, technologies, and lessons of future civilizations. It is possible, perhaps essential, that our own fall may not be total, but catalytic. Maybe this is the threshold, the moment when society awakens not to what it can do, but what it must become to survive. To do that, we must reintegrate wisdom with innovation, conscience with power, and humility with ambition. The Atlantean archetype warns us not that progress is evil, but that progress without the heart's participation leads to ruin. Without the heart, it isn't progress at all, but a delusion. Atlantis was a civilization that had everything and lost it all. Today we hover on that same precipice, armed with knowledge, surrounded by luxury, and distracted by illusion. The myth isn't ancient anymore. It's a mirror. An archetype is an emotionally charged blueprint we can participate with consciously or unconsciously. This is not unlike what exists with astrology. There is both a positive and negative aspect to every planetary alignment. We decide how we want to interact with same. So the question is not whether the Atlantean archetype is playing out. It clearly is. The real question is whether we'll continue its pattern blindly or finally recognize the myth as a map, guiding us not to a submerged past, but to a more conscious future. Thanks for watching. The end.